are you the one who gave me a Fantasia? Apparently we had another one. I haven't used any of the previous ones, but thank you. I now have 5 Fantasias. Alright, time to start the Summoner job quest. Multi, I've had the most fascinating news. It would seem that the ruins of ancient Alag have yielded to us a tome containing unknown secrets of the Summoner's art. The tome in question is currently being kept under Rambrose's watchful gaze at our dig site in Mordona. I'll be heading there shortly myself, and I will not begrudge you an earlier peek. Wrong way. I thought you might be along. Here, Multi. A prize such as this should be in your keeping. We uncovered it not terribly far from where we excavated the Evoker's attire. I have judged the tome to be some manner of manual for summoning magic, but alas, I was unable to decipher the writings. It is fortunate, then, that such a task falls directly within Imhitra's field of expertise. Speaking of which, would you mind taking the book to her yourself? She sent word that she had been held up by some dreary business in Revenant's Toll. Pray do be careful. My apologies. A trifling but unavoidable matter prevented me from making directly for the dig site. Now, shall we take a closer look at this Alagan tome? Oh my, 'tis rather more shabby than what I have come to expect from the great works of Alag. But let's not be discouraged. The contents is what truly matters. Fine observation. Oh, it's a mimic. Principia, at your service. I am a humbly familiar with the doctrine of summoning. Have we awoken a sentient tome from some ancient library? Melty, we must keep it contained. Have I somehow given offense? Strange, for I am not equipped with offensive capabilities. Imparting the art of summoning is my function. An instructional manual is my form. A manual, you say? I mean, to be fair, their reaction is the correct action when you see a mimic. Correct. When opened in the presence of summoners, I am bound to awaken and share with them the secrets of summoning. The young master there is in possession of an active soul crystal, yes? Was the soul crystal that awoke you? Correct. Only one who carries a soul crystal and is bathed in the ether of an icon may wield the powers of a summoner. I sensed one worthy of instruction and was thus compelled to introduce myself. Icon. That is the Alagan word for primal. Use might need to clarify the obvious, but you are a construct created to teach summoning magics to any potential student you encounter. Why would the ancients have deemed such a thing necessary? Summoning came into being for the purpose of eliminating beings, specifically those beings known as icons. Primals. Once these entities have all been vanquished, however, new Egi cannot be harnessed. Old summoners perish, and so too does their art. It was upon glimpsing this bleak future, a certain master summoner set about crafting yours truly. Inscribed with arts of tremendous power, exists to teach others how to safeguard their existence. Fascinating. Your creation speaks to the heart of the discipline's rarity. Summoning harnesses the power of primals for the sole purpose of destroying them. And new summoners arise only in an age when primals are ripe. With the absence of living mentors, a true succession of art is never achieved. Principia, are you then to instruct Multi in the lost arts of Alag? I am eager to oblige. There are certain obligations. Ere the seal upon my higher knowledge can be unlocked. The student must first overcome the 3 challenges I am ensorcelled to present. Well, considering how it refers to primals as icons, I'm inclined to believe that we have an authentic Alagan relic on our hands. What say you, Multi? Will you undertake these challenges? The first challenge is a test of power. This trial is designed to evaluate the raw magnitude of your arcane talent by pitting you against a predetermined opponent of carefully measured fortitude, also known as I manifest a monster and you fight it. Mayhaps not terribly wise to attempt that in the middle of town. Why don't we find ourselves a less populated area out near the Singing Shards? Do I get the book at the end of this? I want the book as an actual minion. Can that be a thing? I technically do have a book minion, don't I? It's not the same book, but I think I have a book minion. Yeah. Page 63. It's not the same, though. I want the Mimic book. I summon a summoning book. Well, I'm a summoner. Shall we begin the test of power, Master? Master? Treat your pupil as a superior, Principia. Such was the way in which I was written. If my full name begins to tire your tongue, you are welcome to call me Prin or Pia. Oh, I rather like Prin. I mean, let us proceed with the challenge. Alright, I get that by doing that. That's what it is. Crushing victory, Multi. Who could argue the potential of modern summoning after that display? You bested the first challenge, Master. There are a few summoners in Alag's long history who boasted this degree of native might. Furthermore, you have achieved such potency through naught but the study of ancient wisdom is simply astonishing. With a little polish to your technique, guiding you to loftier heights of power should be astonishingly simple. I thought Multi's technique more than sufficiently polished, but you say there is room for improvement. I see we shall have to adjust our yalmstick for perfection if we are to rival the practitioners of the past. Indeed. You would know more of past practices than you need only ask. Actually, I have a question for you. You would indulge me, Multi? Friend, in which age were you created? You appear to lack the technological advancements that were predominant in constructs in the latter days of Alec civilization. Another excellent observation. I was penned by Master Sari, preeminent summoner of his time. He was, in fact, likely the last master summoner of the Alagan Empire's reign. Alright, to date myself by your culture's notion of history, my creation would have taken place at a point just before the Empire's collapse. In other words, solidly within the richest era of etherochemical discovery. One might reasonably wonder why this wonderful science was excluded from my invention, and I assure you, there is a reason. Oh, there is an ad, so we shall wait a minute. Doo-doo. Welcome back from ads, everybody. One moment. I got a text. And I'm answering. Okay. In the beginning, the Alagans rose to superiority through their mastery of magecraft. It is told that the very first wielders of summoning magic made do with grimoires fashioned of leather and ink and parchment. There came a tipping point, however, when the mundane sciences began to progress with ever-growing rapidity. These advances were married with the arcane, and etherochemical technology was born. Even as the harnessing of lightning energies gave rise to new recording mediums, techniques were developed that allowed complex arcane geometries to be instantly plotted. Pardon me. Traditional grimoires were replaced by devastatingly efficient and elegant weapons. The convenience of these tools, however, did not lend themselves well to the instruction of initiates. Beyond such considerations, the new mediums could not be perused without dedicated machinery. Their manufacture was no simple matter. So the summoner who breathed life into you decided that tomestones and the like were not the ideal method for passing on his accumulated wisdom. Correct. He chose for me the primitive form of a book, inscribed within my pages a bounty of potent incantations that required no machine to be cast. Thank you, Prin. I thought only to satisfy my academic curiosity, but I found myself swept up in your description of the past. You really are the creation of an incredible age. And thank you for your patience, Malt. Do we return to Gridania? What is that FC tag? Hold on a minute. All right, that's interesting. Well done, Multi. We are one step closer to revealing a new secret of ancient Outlook. Rain will issue the next challenge after you've had the chance to review your studies and hone your abilities to a new level of perfection. I've decided to keep the familiar here at my side for the moment. Even with as many wonders as Eorzea holds, folk tend to panic at the sight of a fang tome that jumps around of its own accord. Oh, and pay no mind to Captain Wolf. He obviously wishes to secure my services for some task or another, but we have more important matters to attend to. Greetings, Multi. It would seem that Bryn would speak with us about the second challenge. Congratulations, Master. You are sufficiently prepared to undertake the next test. Excuse me, Prin, but how can you tell? By analyzing the patterns of Master's ethereal emanations, I can gauge the strength and precision of his recently cast incantations. Of course, Master must attempt the challenge itself before I can provide an evaluation to the proper degree of accuracy. This will be a test of skill. To administer this trial under the prescribed conditions, however, I must request the assistance of several more summoners to play the role of antagonist. Several more summoners? In this day and age, it will be no easy feat to arrange. Come now, Mitra. The solution is right under your nose. Multi. Your deeds have caught the attention of the highest echelons of the Flames. After learning what you're capable of, we've begun an initiative to take our very own summoners into battle against the primals. Unless they have the Echo, isn't that a terrible idea? Won't they all just get converted and then we'll have an army of summoners to deal with later? A number of soldiers under my command have already begun intensive training. I handpicked veteran summoners for our expedition against Ifrit, and they've been issued with soul crystals we claimed from the Asians. Aye, and Captain Wolf has been howling in my ear for days, begging to enlist your aid as some kind of drill instructor for the ethereally gift. But now you're in need of summoners for this trial of yours, yes? I'm prepared to offer my regiment's full cooperation, All I ask in return is a few morsels of advice for the acolyte. Seems to me a fair trade, and my enchantments do not restrict me from instructing neophyte summoners in the fundamentals of the art. Very well. I suppose such an arrangement could prove convenient for us all. I do like this book. I might keep it. Ugh. I knew you'd come around. Meet me at Camp Blue Fog, and I'll assemble the troops for inspection. Oh, pardon me. Looks like we're all here. Let's get on with the briefing, shall we? As you command. The second challenge will evaluate the elegance of your technique as opposed to the magnitude of your miasma. First, I shall infuse the Igai of your opponents with secondary enchantments, and then you are to engage the entities in combat. Explain to me that the enchantments store the ether expended during the battle and allow for an in-depth analysis of your flair for death flares, as it were. In any case, I expect you'll pass with flying colors. Right. Suppose you should know what you're up against. Designation and rank. Summoner Crispin, Private, First Class. We're grateful for aught you can teach us, sir. Summoner Denise, Sergeant. I'm new to spellcasting, but I've seen my share of combat, sir. Crispin and I are to fight you as a pair. Summoner Judges Samu, Lieutenant. You've more than a few admirers in the barracks, Malty, sir. But that don't mean we'll go easy on you. Enough chatter. Quick march to the training ground. Give the word to Crispin and Denise when you're ready to battle their EI Malty. I wonder if stuff like this, where you're dealing with a grand company, I wonder if I had chosen this grand company and gone up enough in rank, they would say something. If they would say different. After that, you'll be facing off against the Lieutenant's Beast. You won't be attacking my troops directly, so give it all you've got. Prepare yourself, sir. Denise and I will now summon our servants to battle. Aye, a pair of Ifrit Igai for you. I still don't know how to pronounce that word. Ah, crap. That's not what. Hi, Florine. You're so tired. You finally settled after your long drive. Just had dinner. Nice. Hope it was some good food. Realize that's not where I put that HUD. My HUD got changed. Hold on a minute. Yeah, that's not where you're supposed to be. Almost. That looks better. There we go. It was? Nice. Finish warming up on them embers then. Because even together, mates, Egai won't hold a candle to the inferno I can summon. Right, let's bring the flames. Oh, yours is big. Why can't mine be that big? That's not fair. Oh, that was a weird lag. I had hopes for that one, but you snuffed him out right quick. Not much of a trial, eh? Oh then, you're lucky I fought another primal during me time with the company of heroes. You're not the only summoner as can command more than one ethereal beastie. Say hello to your final opponent, Titan. Nike. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna try and stick with Eggy. I don't know why. That one just seems more appropriate. Oh, my summoners put up enough of a fight for you. Anyway, shall we hear what the book has to say? I have ruminated upon the swirls and echoes of your battle, and the picture is clear. Your technique is, without a doubt, a thing of exquisite beauty. So the second challenge conquered. Well, that's good news. Hardly surprising. After all, you did sweep through those Eggy like a storm through a field of dandelion. Hey, thanks. You've opened me eyes. I see I have some work to do before I've truly mastered this display. Glad to know we've been of service. Now, we really must be returning to Gridania. Thank you, sir. This is truly an enriching experience. Aye, pray train with us again in the future. Doo-doo-doo. I did, little baby. Hold on a minute. name? Live right now? She's playing something else. I know a streamer who has a very similar username. So I was kind of wondering if that was her for a second. Oh, Florine, by the way, did you know they gave out another Fantasia? The Moogle here had another Fantasia for me. Congratulations, Malty. With your impressive demonstrations of power and skill, you've already conquered 2 of Prin's 3 challenges. They get. I think one of there was a new Fantasia that came out. It's a free one from this Moogle. Unless you've already picked it up or something, or already knew about it. But figured I'd mention it. Here we come to the final trial. However, Prin would further our education on analog and summoning. First, I would ask what you know of the rise and fall of summoning in the Alagan Empire. I was made to cover rather a lot of history, you understand. From our research, we have learned that summoners were initially lauded as heroes for their success against the primals. When certain of these mages began to abuse the art's power for personal gain, however, the adoration of the populace shifted toward an oppressive hate. Correct. You speak not of the latter half of the Third Astral Era. My creator, Master Sari, was one of those who expended his energies on the destruction of primals. Even as he fled from a relentless persecution, alongside his disciples, he triumphed over Belius and many other lesser entities. Belius? That was the name of the elder primal from whom Tristan once drew power. Master Sari must have been mighty indeed to defeat such a foe. Yet he still knew fear. The thought that the grand discipline of summoning would fade into oblivion was more than Master Sari could bear, so he sought to preserve its legacy and provide for his successor. My creator was well versed in aetherochemistry and held a particular interest in the technology of information. Broadly speaking, he researched methods for producing arcane geometries without grimoires, and experimented with machine-enhanced Egi. He eventually abandoned both of these technologies, deeming them unsuitable for the instruction of future generations. Hoping to provide guidance to those summoners yet unborn, he instead began writing and enchanting a work that would survive down the ages. He made me. Such an accomplished personage. Why, then, have I seen but scant mention of his name in Aleg's histories? As you have said yourself, it was an age when the adulation summoners experienced an extreme reversal. It is likely the Master Sari's achievements were struck from the records, even as his loyal pupils were struck down in the streets. I was shut in a storeroom, abandoned to my slumber, like some common treatise on trade agreements in the southern provinces. And thus I can tell you naught of what befell my creator in his later years. I expected a dry recital of the history of summoning, but you shared with us your personal narrative. Clearly you hold a great deal of respect for Master Sari. I'm a familiar. I simply relay information as I've been enspelled. This lecture is now over. As you wish, Prin. Well, Multi, 'twould seem class is dismissed for the moment. I suggest you recuperate from this day's trial and look forward to preparing yourself for the final challenge. Can you imagine if they actually um like day locked quests in this game. Like she said go rest and you actually had to go rest until tomorrow. Even if it was just in-game days. Like you'd have to go do something else until it became night and then day again. That would be insane. It would certainly extend how long the game went, though. Time has come, Multi. Prin is ready to administer the final trial. Yes, your third trial is at hand, Master. I shall be glad to at last share the wisdom that has long laid dormant within my pages. Thus far, we've had evaluations of raw power and refinement of skill. What, then, will this third challenge seek to test? That I cannot tell you. Cannot or will not? I do not keep this detail from you for the sake of my own amusement. It must be secret. Were you aware of the test purpose? Such knowledge would unfairly affect its outcome. What I will tell you, however, is that this trial requires conditions that are akin to an actual battlefield. As such, I must ask that you call fellow summoners to your side and arrange a location where you might join hands against a most realistic primal threat. Well, this ought to be welcome news for Captain Wolf. I shall see if his acolytes are available. Greetings, this is Imhitra. I, Imhitra, of the Saint Koinak. I have a favor to ask. That seemed like a very awkward phone call. Well, Captain Wolf was more than eager to accept our request. He even offered to arrange exclusive use of a section of Seal Rock. Seems there would be an airship waiting in Ul'dah to fly us to the island. Shall we rendezvous at the landing once you are prepared then? This will be the final and most grueling challenge. Ready yourself, Master, that you are not reduced to so much gruel. I'm failing at reading all of a sudden. I don't know about you, Multi, but my nerves are beginning to get the best of me. Captain Wolf and the others have already landed on Seal Rock, so let us not delay the challenge any further. Who would that be? Oh, Summoner Judge Samu. Am I pardon? By whom? Wait, Lieutenant, can you hear me? Alas, the call was cut off. Multi, our immortal colleagues are under attack. The situation sounds dire indeed. All the summoners are crippled by injuries, and Captain Wolf alone fights to keep the foe at bay. Our planned battle has become rather more real than we anticipated. We best explain matters to the pilot and arrange a rescue party. Ambushed, you say? Understood. I'll put in a call for reinforcements, but my ship is ready to depart now, if you are. Shall we go in ahead? In case I get experience. Oh, it's the PvP area. This is all really arranged by the book, I'm guessing. Oh, or not. For some reason, I still feel like it was the book. Okay, that's not working. There we go. Now I can see if I was right. Maybe. Was it the book? Did the book set us up? Or is this just a random summoner? Boundless potential confirmed. Commencing scan. Main ethereal capacity. Measurable. Standard parameters exceeded. Reinitializing system. What? He wants to go another round? Master, sorry? Have you come to be here? Master, surely you do not mean that sorry. Ah, Principia, they have awoken you. This should suffice. I don't like the look of that. What did you do to Print? Construct is unharmed. I simply added another layer of security. Do not disappoint me, Summoner. I will be waiting. So the book didn't set us up. How odd. The way he vanished was almost as if he turned into a primal. False teeth. What was that all about? Ah, we'll discuss this back in Ul'dah after we've seen to the wounded. You arrived in the nick of time, Multi. Thanks to you, my soldiers survived that ambush, and they'll be fit for duty again after a bit of rest. Ah, you have our gratitude. If you hadn't plunged into the fray like that, you almost certainly would have perished. You said that bastard with Master Sari, didn't you? Summoner of ancient Alag? And the mages have some way of coming back to life? Alright, Lieutenant, let's not jump to conclusions. Well, he was wielding summoning magics unlike aught we've ever seen before. Maybe Prin has some idea? I'll be sure to ask. Come, Multi, let's return to Gridania. Whatever, this is free. I will be that cheap. Well, what was meant to be Malty's final trial was certainly testing, to say the least. Tell me, Prin, what makes you so sure that that was Master Sari? Based upon the evidence at hand, there can be no doubt. The vocal and ethereal signatures were identical to those exhibited by my creator. The only aspect that gives me pause is his behavior. Master Sari was never one to offer harm to others with such callous indifference. I would say there is a larger inconsistency to consider here, Prin. Your creator supposedly died several thousand years ago. There is one other possibility. The greatest minds of Allah unlocked a science known as cloning, for which they could artificially create a replicant of a living being. Steel Rock is, after all, a construction of the Alagan Empire. Assuming the individual you battled was indeed a clone of Master Sari, my senses would recognize no appreciable difference. An exact copy of the original person. It would explain much, but the very thought of it is horrifying. Oh, and did you not tamper with your enchantments? Are you truly unharmed? My faculties are undimmed, but the wisdom I was to impart to Master has been sealed behind an arcane lock. I can do nothing. Only my creator holds the key. Then your secrets are lost to us. If only Malty had been able to attempt that third challenge. Attempt? Master has already passed it. Allow me to explain. The third challenge is a test of the summoner's nature. Thus does the trial require the presence of companions and a realistic threat. Mr. Sari's ambush did, of course, bring an unexpected dimension to proceedings. The Master leapt to the aid of his fellow summoners without hesitation, and braved considerable danger to see that they were safely rescued. I don't like the gloves they give with this outfit. Selfless acts that more than qualify Master as a worthy successor. I'd wondered why power and skill were not sufficient. Sari wished to see his teachings passed on to summoners of noble heart. Correct. He could not countenance the idea that such knowledge might be put to evil ends. Now you understand why his display of violence so confused me. Aye, and all the more reason to suspect an impostor. But whatever this man's identity may be, we will track him down and have him remove that seal. The purpose is too important. And I will assist you in any way I can. The master sorry that made me would not stand to see his memory profaned with such wickedness. Well said, Print. For an enchanted stack of ink and parchment, you have an impressively developed moral compass. I possess neither morals nor a compass. I merely follow my unspelled directions to guide worthy summoners. If I give the impression of such characteristics, then mayhap I am overstepping my bounds as a familiar. No, you're fine, Print. And I mentioned it. I will see if I can unearth more detailed records of Master Sari. Mayhap the story of his later life will aid us in unraveling this present mystery. I am going to have to do another dungeon. I searched through the usual histories, but found scant mention of Sari. Just as Print has said, records of his existence have all but been expunged. And since my own knowledge is limited to the day I was stored away, we must rely on those lost login records that escaped the purge. My colleague, Rambros, may be able to help us there. Are they Dago's best when his team does not lift some forgotten treasure from the ruins in Mordona? Should we pay him a visit? Hi again, cat. No. Okay. Give me a second. There you go. Come on, go over. I cleared some space for you. Dark. No. I moved those away from you for a reason. Mitra has informed me of your search, and I shall be certain to contact you should our discoveries include any mention of this Sari. There may, however, be a swifter way to acquire the information you seek. You know of a certain merchant who collects undeciphered tomestones with even greater zeal than the sons of Saint Quinac. Ah, you speak of Rowena. Aye, we have formed something of a symbiotic relationship with their consortium. In return for financing our excavations, we provide Rowena with a selection of our finds. I'm sure you would find her amenable to a request for assistance. After all, would merely need to borrow her tomestones for a time, yes? Here, I've penned a letter with my personal reassurances that her stock will be returned none the worse for wear. Why are you being difficult? I cleared a space for you and you insist on going to the other side. Hi, what can I do for you? You've taken the back end of old Rambros, eh? I suppose it wouldn't hurt to lend you some of my tombstone. In fact, I'll do you one better and let you borrow the transcripts. Where do you see the scribes of the ironworks? His books, they're a damn sight heavier. And you don't need fancy machines when it's all penned down in ink and parchment. Give me a summary of the contents when you're finished, and I'll consider that as payment. Collectors will part with more coin if they know what they're getting. My time's too precious to waste on reading ancient history. Consider it a deal, Rowena, and thank you. Well, Multi, shall we get to work? Of course she's a triple triad. Chocobobo. Fancy that. I've barely begun skimming the very first volume. There are already some promising passages. Let's wake Prin and share our findings, shall we? Ah, Rambros. Have we come to check on our progress? Charming tome is Principia, sentient familiar of ancient knowledge. Pleasure to meet you, Master Rambros. Pray call me Prin, if you prefer. Thank you, Prin. Might I say what a privilege it is to meet such a rare and clever construct? Clever? Well, yes. Apparently Prin was written that way. In fact, we were just here hoping to hear an opinion on a new snippet of information I found. There's an order listed in a record of Imperial military communications, demanding that the fruits of the Master Summoner's research be seized. It appears that the army had more than a passing interest in Sari's experiments. What exactly was the purpose of this research? Master Sari toiled to wed summoning magics with etherochemical technology. For example, he experimented with replacing grimoires with mechanical mediums, thought to manifest Agi of greater authenticity by utilizing high-speed computations. Simply put, he turned to machines to enhance traditional summoning methods. Is that the gist of it? Correct. But Master Sari was never one to abuse the success of his experiments. No matter how they magnified his power, he would not place his trust in machines. His inherently complex nature was too prone to error. I'm not going to finish. Oh, he died. There's no way your healer is going to survive that. How did the tank come back to life? Whatever, I'm just wiping. This tank is going to be insufferable, I can already tell. Yep, there it goes again. I appreciate you checking in. I'm doing all right. Our tank is being an absolute idiot. Like, as we're reviving because we've already wiped 5 times, they run off without a healer or either DPS. Which, of course, then causes them to die again. And then the rest of us die. Because that's how that works. But other than being incredibly frustrated at the moment, Mix, I am doing fine. But that is just because of this tank. How are you doing? I hope the move is going well. I will dodge this dungeon. I'm really not in the mood today. Wasn't part of the full move. That was mostly Evie, sadly. And I thought you two lived together, though. Was I wrong about that? We're gonna wipe again. Or maybe not. Made it partially, and I'm just going to be visiting. I can't because it's like 2 years away one way. Oh, okay. I thought you guys were like living together, so that meant you were also moving together. I misunderstood the relationship. Not that I pretended to understand in the first place. But I'm happy to have you here. Happy you came to visit. Always good to see you. Oh, by the way, so Mix, since you're here, I could bring this up with you before I bring it up with Bastion later. I have been informed, which is fine, everyone makes them, know each other for 20 years, so I'm not too worried. Easier to connect at a distance. Now they're true. Very true. Oh, I'm dead. How am I still alive? So I have been informed that you and Bastion compared Eevee to one of the horses from the Horse Girl game. I introduced Eevee to the horse. She said she was gonna have a talk with you two. How did that ever happen? Her in the game and how she acts, and I was like, yeah, that's Eevee. So I showed Eevee the not the horse itself. Well, yes, we were talking about the girl. I was playing the game, Eevee stopped by, and we went through like the little cutscene snippet of the character. Apparently Eevee wasn't as thrilled. There must be some cutscenes I haven't seen yet. It was one where she essentially kidnapped the teacher and wanted to experiment on him because she was running away from other people who she'd also tried experimenting on. She's essentially a mad scientist who doesn't take no for an answer from her test subject. I found it incredibly hilarious. Exaggeratedly, but yep. I was expecting the tank to be. My thing is, I don't know Eevee nearly as much as you guys do, obviously. I, however, can connect the dots to a point. You used to tell me she liked to think Uday characters the most. But that was years ago. That fits. Gonna get in trouble for this somehow. Yeah, because I'm gonna tell her. Because that just makes it more entertaining on my end. Usually I get Bastion in trouble, but you're the one who's here. She's in the new place now though, right? Yes, okay. I sent her a message earlier, yesterday, I think, about asking if she'd be interested in trying a commission. But I know she's busy with her move, so I wasn't expecting an answer right away. I was just curious at what point in the move she is. Here in the house. That's all I know and can confirm. Yeah. I thought I remembered that being, going by what she had told me, that she should be in the new house already. Wasn't entirely sure. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously setting up's not going to be like a snap your fingers and it's done kind of deal. I would more expect like it would take at least the whole month. You gotta jump out though. Yeah, of course. Thank you for stopping by. Go do whatever you need to. I appreciate you coming by, even if it's short. But enjoy the rest of your night and the rest of your weekend if I don't see you again. Yes, hopefully. Would love to have you guys back. I know Evie's really just been logging in to keep the house. And Bastion can't afford the sub at the moment, so... Bye. He was looking. At least it was just a healer. Not like the healer can do a whole lot of damage by whacking me. The healer went through a lot of crap there. The healer deserves that gob. Skip through about half of this, probably. There we go. Simply put, he turned to machines to enhance traditional summoning methods. Is that the gist of it? Correct. But Master Asari was never one to abuse the success of his experiments. No matter how they magnified his power, he would not place his trust in machines. Their inherently complex nature was too prone to error, he said. The dates on these communications indicate a time in the latter half of Sari's life. Possible something could have occurred between crafting you and the execution of this order that may have greatly altered the summoner's outlook. There was, of course, the violent wave of anti-summoner sentiment that swept through Aleg, claimed the lives of many of Master Sari's disciples. Following their deaths, he began spending much of his time cloistered within his laboratory. Such an incident could certainly be responsible for changing man. In principle, you were unaware of subsequent events once you fell into slumber, yes? From what we've learned so far, it is safe to say that the foe we encountered is related to Sari's research in some way. There are likely more clues buried in these records. I shall speak with Captain Wolf and ask to borrow the sharp minds of his summoner squad. It's a rather intimidating pile to tackle on our own. Well, seeing as you have the transcripts, there's no need to travel far. You're welcome to make use of my tent and the reference materials on Alag found therein. That would be an enormous help, thank you. Let's haul these books to the dig site, shall we? Oh. Mythology! Thank you for the raid. Welcome in. How was Final Fantasy? Well, welcome in everybody. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a wonderful time over at Mythologies. If you do not already know me, I'm Multiversal Neko. I'm a variety streamer. Streams just about everything, but has recently been hyper fixated on Final Fantasy XIV. If you would like to hang out, join me for some fun and chill vibes, you are of course welcome to. We are going through some story quests right now. I am also doing a donathon for a rebrand. But if you do have to get up, eat, stretch, drink some water, please go take care of yourself. Sitting at your computer for a long time, I understand, can be taxing, even though it sounds lazy. Otherwise, welcome to the stream. Good, we're about to fight the life tree. I don't think I never played 9. I've seen it played, parts of it, and I've played like bits and pieces of it, but I've never really sat down and played it, so I don't know a whole lot about 9. I know 3. I think it's 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are the early ones I know. I'm about to finish disc 2. That's one of the 3-disc ones, isn't it? Like 7 was. Technically 4, but yeah, it's really just 3. Ah, okay. I'm excited. Have you played any of the newer ones? Like 10 and up? Have you played any of those before? 'My throat's going raw again. One 100% 15, and I played a little of 16 and beat 13. So you've never done 10? Never done 10 or 10-2? I'm excited for you to get to those. I actually started trying to go through 10, and I plan to go back to that. I gotta go through my VODs. 10 and 10-2 are... I'd have to say they're the first of their type. Like they're it's definitely it's a generational jump. Like 10 was the benchmark for their newer game. Like graphically, story-wise, gameplay-wise. 10 was the start of their new era. So I'm excited for you to get to 10. Um, Warning about 10 and 10.2 in particular, though, because I know you were YouTube as well. They allow their music to be on YouTube for 10 and 10.2 other than 3 songs. However, YouTube will auto flag the entire video where any music is playing. So there is a way to you can dispute it, and they will let it through unless it is one of 3 songs. I think I have the legal website link somewhere in my saved files. Because I was having that problem where all of my videos were getting muted. Yeah. Here. I will. I didn't think to send this to you earlier, but I feel like this is something you're gonna need. So that takes you to the official Square Enix copyright allowance page for 10 and 10.2. It will list the 3 songs. One of them is in 10, and the other 2 are in 10.2. It's the opening song of 10, which I do highly encourage you to actually listen to when you're going through it. It is an amazing piece, but it will get flagged. You will have to remove it from your VOD. And in 10.2, it's the opening song and like the key highlight song during the game. So when they flag the video, because I'm telling you they will, if you go to dispute, you can use I think it's free use. I think you can choose free use, and if you put that link into the reason why, they'll unblock the video. They do the same thing with most of Square Enix games. Kingdom Hearts is another one. I have to fight with them every time I upload a Kingdom Hearts. They allow all of Kingdom Hearts other than like the specifically music game. There is a Kingdom Hearts music game, and that is the only one they have a problem with. Rest of Kingdom Hearts is fine, even though it's Disney and Square Enix. They're fine with it. They don't care. YouTube has a problem with it though. Is that the Yep. That's the one they have that's one of the ones I think they have an issue with. No, it's called Real Emotion. That's what it is. The 3 tracks they do not allow
are Uteki Dane or Isn't It Wonderful, which is the opening song for the first game. 1,000 Words, which is the opening song for the second game, and Real Emotion, which is Yuna's highlight song from the second game. Those are the only three they have an issue with. I think I can pull them up on. They're Square Enix. Most of Square Enix games are on Spotify. Eki Dane. Yep, there it is. Yeah, so this is the first one. Oh. Oh no, this isn't the opening. Uh oh right, this is Yuna's song from the first game. Or no, this is the orchestra version. That's why it's the wrong one. This is it. I think this is the real one. I don't remember what this is from. This is not the song I thought it was. This one might be one of the ones from the second one. Nope. This one's from the first one. Oh. I remember when she sings this. I remember when she sings this now. Not the opening song. I don't think so. I need to play the game again. I now that I've started talking about it, this was one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. Was 10 and 10-2. I really need to play them again. I think so. No, the Xanarkand is just what they play while you're in Xanarkand, I think. The rock song, yeah, that one. Was it this one? No. I don't remember what the opening song, what rock song was. Oh, I thought the opening song was the one that got flagged. So which one was... Again, thankfully play these because Spotify doesn't go to my VODs. What was 1,000 words? That's very fitting. The first thing that popped up for 1,000 words isn't Final Fantasy, but an Amelie cover. Doesn't have the same. I'm I'm sorry. I love Ama. I do, but that does not have the same impact as when Yuna sings it. This is real emotion. This is the banger. They mythology, the entire soundtrack of 10 and 10-2 is a banger. Like, they cooked with these songs. And our tank died again. I've heard that X2's music. It is. It really is good. To be honest, slight spoiler, but considering the whole context is you're playing as three idols, three female idols, this music better be good. Alrighty. I hope you have a good night. Oh, that's not my carbuncle. This is probably very loud, but do not care. It's a banger. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm glad I figured out the audio ducting, though.
Such a good song. I do still find it funny that the one song that I've had a problem with for Final Fantasy 14, the only song that has been flagged by YouTube is the Chocobo song that plays when you're doing the cliffhanger event in the Golden Saucer. Other World is the song that plays at the start. Ah, okay. That one is a banger. You can't get away from it. Just go to the edge, please. I don't want to deal with the entire arena again. Hi, Pyro. Song startled you the first time you started X? Fair. I knew you were coming even before you came in here. I still had your stream on the other monitor. Thank you for the raid. Lorene, can you do a shout out? Exclamation mark SO and then their name. I'm always lurking to somebody. Except for right now, because nobody's live. But hey, you're done with that game? You're right, you're done with that game, and now you have to go to work and do it all over again. At least you get paid this time. So I am going to expose you here, Pyro. For anybody here who is interested in the irony of this, Yo Day Ray is playing Parcel Simulator, where you basically work at FedEx. And their real job is at like a FedEx shipping plant. So they stream their job just to go then end and go to their job.
It's 10 now, and it was a gift. Was it a gift from the penguin? Because that irony would be great. Very cruel gift. It has to have been from the penguin then, right? No, it was a gift from a coworker who no longer works there. A little dig. Ah. So did you end work to now go to work again? You working tonight? A bit hungry? That's fair. Do what I can not to work on the weekends. That's open if I want to do it, which I can. Or which I don't. Ah, okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of work overtime at my job right now. They want me to work, but I haven't been able to for a while. Finally be able to do some overtime next week and start getting some extra money. Put towards the rebrand and pay off bills. Yay, Bill's a bunny going bye-bye. Yep. That's my life.
I need to think about dinner, other than just potato chips. Potato chips are not a good dinner. Get some chicken in you. I know a good source. He's not a chicken, though. He's a penguin. They're both foul, so it works out in the end. Careful, I might throw you in that pot too and cook you along with him. This is a dumb chicken masquerading as a penguin. Oops, my bad. Come on. Next phase. Come on. Just fought your next phase. Thank you. There we go. Level 70. That's what I needed. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't eat the penguin. I don't want to catch whatever is wrong with his head. I have enough wrong with my head already. I don't need help with that. Our summoner colleagues arrived with a swiftness after I relayed to them our request. It's well to see them recovered from their injuries. With everyone pitching in, we stand a good chance of finding something useful. Ah, here's the bugger I was looking for. The record of when the military finally caught up with Sari. It says here the summoner was found dead, killed by someone else, it seems. And we have proof of the original Sari's demise on the third astral layer. Now there remains the question of who or what attacked us in this age. My coin is on one of those clone creations. Is there aught more to the story, Lieutenant? Aye. It goes on to describe how the Imperial Army took over Sari's research, lauded his experiments as exceptionally dangerous but ripe with potential applications. Oh, it would be absolutely delicious with a side of pyro. They shifted operations to an artificial island soon after and began practical testing. One cataclysmic accident later, though, that was the end of that. The artificial island must be a reference to Seal Rock, the very site of our encounter with the present-day Sari. During the battle, my creator's simulacrum exhibited the ability to summon multiple Eggy simultaneously, as well as manifest highly authentic facsimiles of flesh and blood entities. The basis for every one of these unorthodox techniques can be traced back to Master Sari's research into machine-enhancing summon. I'd say we have enough evidence to support a working theory, then. I really hope they don't give me one of those outfits when I'm done with this. Namely that the Ilagan military was using a clone of the deceased Sari to perform hazardous experiments, tests which explored the feasibility of etherochemically bolstering summoning magic. When we landed on Seal Rock, we must have somehow awoken the remnants of those experiments. Mayhap we have solved the mystery of who the attacker was. Now I would know the place to where he fled, what refuge exists for such a being. When I can gather, the results of Sari's work were bundled off to some secret laboratory called the Etherochemical Research Facility. Been there. You know this place, sir? Is it far? Ozzy's Law? If that's where they are keeping Sari's research, then it's possible the clone may have headed there. Our squad will fly back to Seal Rock and make further investigation. Relics of the past may hold some hint we haven't yet considered. An excellent idea, thank you. We shall return to Gridania for the time being. The quiet smacking of the book on the as the book bounces is kind of funny. Okay. I kind of want to go up and pet them. I've received an update from Captain Wolf regarding their investigations on Seal Rock. It would seem that certain of the Elogan relics have shown signs of recent activation. The mechanisms were too heavily damaged to offer more in the way of useful information. However, I fear we must brave this Ozzy's Law facility and search for Sari ourselves. Is that what he was hoping for when he said, "I will be waiting"? It's possible. I did not think the detail important at the time, but the lock engaged by Master Sari's simulacrum was not of the strictest. Rather, the seal is one which fades upon the sealer's demise. And he was goading us into finding and defeating him? Another challenge, or is it simply a trap? I'm not fond of rushing into the unknown. Gird yourself for the worst, Malty, and I will learn the present circumstances of the research facility. Ow. Leg cramp. Oof. The Channeler's Attire, Summon Bahamut, and Enhanced Dreadworm Trance, which I'm assuming just changes my thing into that, probably. I've learned all there is to be learned about the research facility. Time has come to make our move. While my sister and her colleagues have told me, the laboratories are housed in an extremely dangerous quadrant of Ozzy's Law. I do not want to wander around inviting trouble, but rather plot the swiftest and safest route to our destination. There should be a terminal somewhere that will allow us to pinpoint the section where Sari's research is being stored. Once we arrive on Ozzy's Law, finding such a terminal will be our highest priority. I have informed Captain Wolf of our forthcoming expedition. He insisted that he and his summoner squad provide us with support. Let's make ready and meet them at Helix. Ozzy's Law is even more fantastical than I'd imagined. We mustn't let ourselves be distracted by the scenery. We should fan out and search for a control panel of some description. We can use that to plan the simplest route to our objective, yes? Aye. Then we plunge ahead, swift and sure, and bring an end to this bastard clone. That's my intention. It's important to note, however, we've yet to determine if our enemy is truly a clone or not. Even an artificial copy would appear as a living, breathing being. The man you fought in Seal Rock seemed almost otherworldly. I'm inclined to agree with you, Impitcher. No matter what he is, we need to slay him to lift Prim's deal. The job remains the same. True enough. Then we must first focus on finding that terminal. Malty, if you would, try to search around the base of the Warring Triad statue. Keep your guard up. If Sari knows we're coming, he may have prepared a welcome. This place is still a nightmare to get around.
Oh, was that it? This? Nope. This up. Around here. Oh, there it is. Passed right by it. I predict you would be the first to find me, unless the summoner would have been slain. I'm guessing it's that outfit. Multi. Sari's clone. It's here. Clone? Ah, you seek to explain my existence. An understandable theory, but I am far more than one of those clumsy creatures. You had best abandon this flawed perception, lest it lead you down the path to failure. I shall await you inside, Potential. You will pass my test. Your true final challenge, or you will die never knowing what I truly am. All's teeth. He's gone again. Do you see that, Multi? The way he vanished? It's akin to the dismissal of a summoned entity. Are you saying he's some sort of Eggy? When he was wearing Sari's face? But how can he look so solid and, well, alive? With the aid of a computational computer, it would be theoretically possible to reconstruct Ether into a near-perfect replica of Sari's corporeal form. He was summoned using a machine? Correct. Master Sari's research developed mechanical substitutes for grimoires. In fact, Lieutenant is standing right in front of one. This thing, eh? Looks a bit like them homeless on Steel Rock. Only they was much bigger. Gods. Can the bugger pop up anywhere there's one of these devices? Aye, I think we can now safely assume that this Sari is the product of enhanced summoning magic. But our answer leaves us with yet another question. If Sari is the Aki, then who is the summoner? Even if the grimoire is replaced by a machine, there must still exist the one who commands it. We've got to find the master then. If we don't squash the summoner, the bastard will just keep bringing that Sari Eggy back again and again and again. Whoever the bastard may be, he or she must be concealed somewhere nearby. And entity will always be summoned within a certain distance of the summoner. Even machine enhanced techniques cannot circumvent this basic principle. I think the whole thing is the summoner, or he himself is his own summoner. Our antagonist chose not to make an appearance on Seal Rock suggests a reluctance to expose oneself to direct harm. In this location, however, there's so many computational devices near to hand, I expect the foe's art will be significantly bolstered. I think Eggy will be even stronger than last time, all the more reason to take down the summoner quickly before we're swamped by ethereal horrors. Well, I brought a little device that should help. An etherometer I borrowed from my sister, Yola. If I can detect the right currents, it should lead us straight to our hidden enemy. Excellent, Imhitra. They may make all the difference. Right, let's be about this then. Summoner Squad, take the van and clear the way forward. They brought a van? That was a bad joke even by my standards. Aye, we've been waiting for the chance to prove ourselves. Just focus on finding the summoner and we'll sweep aside the dregs.
Ready for round 2, Multi? The terminal has provided us with a direct route to the research storage chamber. We're going to rip through this facility and take Sari's clone apart. It is an ethereal entity, Captain Wolf, not a clone. And I must point out that your true objective is the summoner, rather than the servant. Right, I knew that. As we planned then. Summoner squad, front and center. Carve Multi a path through. Aye, Captain. Imhitra. Imhitra? Maybe. You're in charge of finding whoever's pulling this imposter Sari strings. Let's go. Wonderful. You've done well to make it this far. Summoner has to be around here somewhere. Imhitra, use your gadget. I'll buy you some time. Came here to remove the seal you put on Principia. Do as we ask, and this can all end peacefully. I'm sorry, Captain. I'm afraid I can't do that. To do so would run contrary to the purpose for which I was created. Clearly by now you have come to realize my true nature. You're an Eggy in the form of my creator, an existence made possible through a fusion of summoning magic and etherochemical technology. While Master Sari was the last of the great summoners of Alag, you are not more than an elaborate imitation, and you are no match for the summoner who now stands before you. Very good, but your conjecture has missed the mark. What I am is a defense mechanism that is capable of self-enhancement in order to combat ever greater threats. Shall I phrase this in simple terms? In the event that I encounter a presence with greater potential than Sari, I am compelled to harness that potential through main force and compose this ether into a new guardian entity. Oh. So his goal is to find stronger and stronger summoners to take on their form and powers so that he can be a better defense. So now he wants to be me. I mean, to kill Multi and make an Eggy of the Warrior of Light? Have we reached an understanding? A peaceable conclusion to this encounter was never forthcoming. His reasoning has broken down. Your deeds have saved countless lives and will continue to do so. How can one justify killing you, Master, when you embody the very principles of which summoning magic was invented? Imhitra, any luck finding that summoner? There isn't one. I think it's the whole building or something. Just finished tracing the threat. Camouflage is impressive. I'm still shocked that we missed something of that size. True enemy is up there. Here's one of those. Observant of you. You have uncovered Master Summoner Sari's greatest masterpiece, an artificially sentient evocation matrix. Oh, that's going to make things difficult. The complexity of my design simply cannot be compared to the primitive principles used in Principia's construction. Your defeat is inevitable. Tough talk for an aging machine whose logic channels have obviously rusted with disuse. Master, might you and your companions dispose of this unsightly and unseemly amalgamation of refuse? I stopped glowing. And now I have to fight so many things. Okay, the Saris are squishy as fuck. Oh, there's so many of them now. That's new. Babbitt! Hi, Babbitt. How are you? That is a landmine. 14's going well. How about yourself? How many landmines? How are you doing? How's the moving process going? You good? It's going well? That's good to hear. Happy, excited for it. I hope it's everything you want. You miss my cozy nights with chat. We miss you too. But everybody understands you do what's best for yourself. We'll be here when you get back. I'm supposed to do? Am I just supposed to attack that now? Is that what we're doing? It is. Okay. Understood.
Oh, they told me what to do, and I just wasn't paying attention. Have you been doing anything fun though, or just focusing on the move? Getting some art when you can. That's always good. I'm agonizing over trying to put together a reference sheet for my my rebrand so I can understand the art perspective at the moment. Slowly packing things, that's fair. You have a lot of stuff. I don't know if you've been living in a house or an apartment or not. An apartment for like 6 years. Okay, so at least you only have an apartment to pack and not a whole house to pack. Those are drastically different amounts of junk. You gotta make your stuff fit into a room. As opposed to a house? An apartment? So, something that you've just made me think of is, so I have an aunt who has never owned, she's only rented, and she moves a lot. But you're with family, so you're happy, and that's all that matters. Um, but one thing she points out every time she moves is that she's always amazed at how much junk she ends up just getting rid of and throwing out, because she realizes she puts it into a box, takes it to a new place, and then it just sits in the box for like 3 months afterwards because she doesn't actually need any of the stuff in there. So then she ends up just like selling everything in the box. Moving is how she declutters, essentially. It's the funniest concept I've ever heard of. It'll be nice being down with family for you. Mm. Stunning victory, Multi. We've won the day, but Captain Wolf wished to stay behind and conduct a thorough search. I told him it was still too dangerous to wander around alone, but Captain is a stubborn man. Not to worry, though. What should happen, we'll soon charge off to fight it aside. Captain Wolf will call if he needs us. Aye, we should be celebrating here. Does this not mean Prince Seal is now broken? Master success is indeed something to be celebrated. It was not crafted to experience emotion, but I do feel a certain rustle of satisfaction. Once you've mastered them high and mighty techniques, you'll be stronger than ever. Well, I think I'd rather learn by your example anyway, instead of from musty scrolls written by some long-dead Alagan summoner. It is in the hopes of achieving just such an outcome that I woke from my slumber. The art of summoning is for the living, my creator was once so fond of declaring. Whoops. Walty, Prin, let us say our farewells for the moment. Thank you for your aid, everyone. We could not have done this without you. Glad I was told that the dialogue goes into the chat box if I missed something. Am I going back to Gridania? I am in Gridania. Do you have a date for the move, by the way?
You do? Is it far away? August 22nd? Oh, that's pretty soon then. Driving, you're driving down? I mean, I guess if you have a car, that's how you get the car. A long drive though. You'll stop at good. Please don't drive 17 hours straight down to Florida. I don't know where you're coming from, but regardless, 17 hours is too much of a straight drive. Less than 24. It is less than 24, but still. It's doable. It's doable, but not encouraged. I've done 8, and that pushed it for me. That's just such a long time to sit in a car. Gotta get out and stretch every once in a while, at least. Even if you're doing it in 2 trips. I probably stopped every... When I did my 8-hour trip, I probably stopped every 2 to 3 hours. At, like, if I saw a rest stop or a gas station, I'd probably... I got out and I just walked around the parking lot. I didn't need anything. I'd use the bathroom if I had to, but I didn't actually need anything. I'd just pull over just to get out of the car. Looks like a shift, easy. True. I mean, I've almost been streaming for 8 hours. I still kind of want to get up and stretch. Welcome back, Malty. We're only meant to face 3 challenges, but we ended up chasing your prize into the heavens themselves. An unexpected development which you handled with exceptional grace. And now, at long last, I can finally bequeath to you the highest secrets of something. Pray step forward. You'll do fine. And everybody will be excited to have you back to stream. It's going well, music. I just finished the summoning story quest. But a momentous occasion. The wisdom of the last of Alag's master summoners is yours. Ere you depart to explore your newfound powers, however, Captain Wolf has a report for us. Explain much of what occurred on Ozzy's Law. Aye. Function is wrapping up. I thought your function was tomorrow and you were just shopping today. I was very confused when you didn't come back after like an hour because I was trying to figure out, wow, music is shopping for a really long time. Aye, well, I wanted to be sure that machine was truly undone. After poking around inside it, I discovered a number of soul crystals. According to Principia, they belong to Sari's disciples. Ah, okay. That makes sense. The captain also unearthed a tombstone containing undoctored records of that age. It seemed that following the murder of his students, Sari became increasingly bitter. Oh, Babbitt, random question. Have you ever played Castle Crashers? Did you see the new DLC? There's a new DLC you can get that lets you legitimately draw your own character to put it into the game. So you could draw your VTuber and put it into the game. I am not artistically capable, so I plan to ask a friend to do it for me. But I still think it's a really cool concept. They kept, He began to doubt that the future could be safely entrusted to the capricious whims of mortals. Instead, he explored other methods by which new generations might be safeguarded from the threat of primals, committed himself to a thorough chemical research. As you may have surmised, the evocation matrix was the end result of Master Sari's toil, drawing on its embedded soul crystals and unrivaled computational power. His terrible invention was capable of manifesting a veritable host of ethereal evidence. Once he was satisfied with his work, Sari commanded the machine to act as civilization's mightiest guardian. Then he killed himself. The ethereal essence was absorbed, and a formidable eggy was added to his invention's arsenal. Now you know the truth. What a price to pay to ensure that the art of summoning survived into the morrow. After failing to protect his disciples, I wonder if he meant to preserve their soul crystals in their stead. Even if that were his intention, he chose the wrong way to achieve. And here is the embodiment of the hopeful ideals of Sari's younger self. The murderous machine of his latter years is the product of frustration and anger and grief. This game really gets me sometimes. Like, it is such an emotional game at points. But what shall we do with the crystals? We cannot risk them falling into the hands of another villain like Tristan. If you wish, I could swallow the crystals and hold them safe until another era has need of them. My enchantments would ensure that they pass only into the hands of the worthy. Swallow? You mean to eat them? You're not, Captain. I have no digestive tract of which to speak. And now that I have instructed Master in the wisdom of Alleg, this task shall be the last I perform ere I return to slumber. Wait, so this is farewell? Correct. Or, mayhap more appropriately, good night. As a familiar, I was not expelled to experience loneliness. I was, however, and with the knowledge that it is best not to draw out a parting of ways with needless sentimentality. No tears for you then, Prin. Semi-magic was created to combat the threat of the primals. The ideal world is one in which I need never awaken again. Wield the art well, Master. Aw, I wanted the book to follow me around. And we never agreed on if he was going to swallow the soul crystals or not. So did you do it or not? Can I have the soul crystals if he doesn't want them? She'll be the strongest summoner ever. And then maybe music won't yell at me for not picking up my soul crystals later. Off to Dreamland, just like that. Suppose Prin's purpose is served, and that's the same as happiness to a familiar. Speaking of serving one's purpose, I think it's time I took my leave. Aye, the tasks of the morrow beckon to us all. Let us do what we may, so that Prin might rest peacefully for many years to come. That guy has such a monotone color scheme.
I can't get over the pose at the end of these because it's just like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Every single time they hold their soul crystal like that, it's a morpher. Yeah. Better not be peeing there, cat. Hero. What are you doing? I don't trust the way you're sitting in that bag. Fine. You were fine. I'm sorry. I disturbed you. But that looked a lot like you were using the litter box. Upon learning the trait Enhanced Dreadwing Trance, it is possible to summon Demi Bahamut. Right at your side. Summoning Demi Bahamut also grants you Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum. This gauge will indicate Demi Bahamut's time remaining on the battlefield, during which Ruin 3 will be upgraded to Astral Impulse, Outburst Astral Flare, and Astral Flow to Death Flare. Each summon, when called forth, I'm into it to... That part's the same. Change the name. I have two different ones. So that's the Dreadworm Trance and Summon Spot. Wormwave automatically on the targets attacked by you after summoning, increasing enmity and target when doing a summon, so it's a tank. What's this? The cute Akmorn. Unexpected damage to target and all enemies nearby with potency of 1300 for the first enemy, 2% less for all remaining enemies. Okay, so you get one use of this every time you summon him. Just like that. We're gonna move this. And now I'm gonna go play with my new toy. Okay, that's cool. Oh, he's fine. All right. That is going to be my end point for today because I need to go get dinner. Holy crap, it's 10? I didn't realize how late it was. It's 10 p.m. and I need dinner. I appreciate everybody for swinging by.
It has been enjoyable and a blast as always. It is time for me to hop off for the night and do some self-care. I will see everybody again next week. Or whenever. Probably Wednesday again. I'm trying to get back into my schedule. I know I've been canceling a lot, but I've been dealing with some personal stuff. So I will catch you all later. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night and a wonderful rest of your weekend. Babbitt, if I don't see you again before the move, I hope the move goes well. Take care of yourself, drive safe, and we will all be here for you when you get back. All right. I have 2 choices for raid. Maybe only one, because it looks like one of them might have ended. Nero, what are you doing? Can you move? I'm trying to raid. Nero, come here. Sit in my lap for a minute, okay? Okay, one of them ended. So that one's no longer a choice, which means I only have one choice. So we're gonna go raid Sunblush, who I don't get to see often, but is always nice to. You can always go check out her sexy bunny Suika model, which I know Babbitt might enjoy. Okay, cat, you gotta give me a minute. Cat, I love you. I do, but you are so in the way at the moment. They're playing 14 as well. I think they're in Dawn Trail stuff, so I probably won't stick around because of spoilers. But we're still gonna go give them some company. So have a wonderful rest of your night and a wonderful weekend, everybody. And I will see you around in Discord if you want to hang out there. Bye, everybody.